Your heart beats more than 100,000 times a day. That's about 35 million times a year. The heart is a muscular pump in the chest next to the lungs. Its job is to move blood around your body. Imagine this heart is positioned inside the chest. The front of the heart is facing you. That means this side is the right-hand side, this is the left. Take a cross-section through the heart. You can see it's made up of 4 chambers. The right atrium, the right ventricle, the left ventricle, and the left atrium. Blood takes a very specific route through the heart. Deoxygenated blood, shown in blue, is high in carbon dioxide and flows from the body into the right atrium. As the right atrium contracts, the blood flows through a valve into the right ventricle. Another contraction pumps the blood from the right ventricle through another valve into the pulmonary artery. This blood travels to the lungs, where it releases carbon dioxide and picks up oxygen. The oxygenated blood, shown in red, then returns to the heart. It enters the left atrium. The atrium contracts and blood is forced into the left ventricle. From here it's pumped out of the heart into the main artery. This is called the aorta. The heart is made up of 2 pumps side by side. One pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs, the other pumps oxygenated blood to the body. This heart is from a sheep. It's similar in size and shape to that of a human heart and is connected by blood vessels to the lungs. This side is the right-hand side. This is the left. The 2 atria are at the top. The atria are much smaller than the rest of the heart and have thin walls. This is the right atrium. This is the left. Blood flows into the right atrium through this vessel here. It's a vein called the vena cava and has a very thin wall. These tubes are the arteries that carry blood away from the heart to the lungs and body. Cutting through the right atrium and right ventricle reveals their internal structure. The atrium is much smaller. Its wall is less muscular than the ventricle. Blood travels from the atrium to the ventricle and out through the pulmonary artery. These tendinous cords hold 3 flaps of skin that form the one-way valve between the atrium and the ventricle. There's also a one-way outlet at the pulmonary artery. These flaps of skin form the valve that stops blood flowing in the wrong direction. Next, look at the left side. Again, the atrium is much smaller and the walls are thinner than the ventricle. Blood travels from the atrium to the ventricle and out through the aorta. Again, flaps of skin in the aorta stop blood flowing back into the heart. On this side, the tendinous cords holding the valve between the atrium and the ventricle are clearly visible. Both sides of the heart have a similar structure, but see how much thicker the walls of the left ventricle are compared to the right. Why do you think that might be? Blood vessels also have different thicknesses. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Their walls are thick and muscular. Veins carry blood back to the heart. Their walls are thin and less muscular. To find out which blood vessel is more elastic, take a small section of an artery and a vein. Suspend each and attach a weight, steadily increasing the amount of mass. Which blood vessel is the more elastic and why?